Have you ever listened to a song like Embers by Lamb of God or Adoration for None by Gojira, which featured another vocalist? What would the impact be like if they had to play the parts of Randy Blythe and Chino Moreno through pre-recorded tracks? I guess you'd just have to force your singer to sing those live. In the case of backing tracks, the debate between artists have gone above and beyond, and the opinions appear to be polarized by people they follow in the industry and so many other reasons. In this video, we will explore some of the most controversial moments of this conversation, and I want to invite you to chime in by writing in the comments below and sharing your thoughts on this topic. Before we do start diving in, please subscribe to the channel if you already haven't, and click the notifications if you're interested in staying up to date with the world of metal and rock, because we sure do. Let's get started. Can you even imagine Metallica having to pay for a band on their shows only to have them play Ecstasy of Gold every night for a couple of minutes, walk away, and then repeat it all over again for the next gig? I know what you're thinking, how silly that would be, but also how expensive it would have to be. Imagine having to pay the expenses of a secondary band just so they play one track. Although this is not what artists are critiquing about backing tracks, the convenience of having pre-recorded tracks can vary from one band to the next. Backing tracks are used in a variety of ways, and when we talk about them, we usually point the finger at the vocalist, but sometimes also to the musicians who play an instrument. It has the same effect that DJs use on electronic music, where all they do is press play. However, while it might be that simple in the studio, once it's time for a band to perform live, anything can happen. Does that mean they need to cheat? No, but some will occasionally reach for pre-recorded tracks to enhance the performance, while others use click tracks, which is a term meaning all the band members would be listening to a metronome in their earplugs. As we had established before, their use case is dependent, and it doesn't really matter if you're into arena bands or not, as the case of Santa Cruz proved to cause some controversy, even though their use was different from renowned bands such as Kiss or Motley Crue. In fact, the way it was explained about how they allegedly got caught using those backing tracks doesn't even compare to these other bigger bands. It all started when a video uploaded to YouTube showed vocalist Archie Cruz stepping away from his microphone, and some vocal track of Under the Gun was still audible. So how could that be? When Eddie Trunk caught wind of this, he jumped on social media saying, "This is beyond words. Everyone, I guess, is just okay with this? As I've said and have been saying, this has become an epidemic that needs to stop. So bad it's to the point this band doesn't even attempt to fake their lip syncing. Stunning." Don McGee, longtime manager of Kiss, was asked in a recent interview if Paul Stanley used backing tracks, and he said, "He sings every track. He sings to it. He's not lip syncing. He fully sings. It's enhanced. It's just part of the process to make sure everybody hears the song the way that they should be sung to begin with." To paraphrase, McGee says Paul is not faking, he is indeed using his vocal cords, but here's the twist. He is singing to a pre-recorded track in the background, so even if he messes up, the audience will still hear the correct way of the Kiss song. Does that seem fair to you? In a way, it's still taking away some of the organic elements from a live performance, don't you think? Archie Cruz said that they used an octave lower harmony and an octave higher harmony to back his actual live performance. So in the same way that he is still singing live, there are moments of the song where a harmony will start and end from a pre-recorded track. If Guns N' Roses or Motley Crue didn't have backup singers, this would be one way to do it, or another member of the band could sing if they were able to. Or maybe it's up to the venue owners and festival organizers. In Germany, there's a festival called the No Playback Festival, and practices like backing tracks, VIP seats, and other luxuries are simply not allowed at the festival. On September 24th of 2022, Eddie Trunk, Ronnie Radke, and Sebastian Bach would all take part in an immense debate, which nearly escalated into a fist fight. After Falling in Reverse canceled a show in Illinois at the 2022 WIIL Rockfest, a whole debate ensued. The decision caused controversy, but above all, it was met with disapproval by two important rock figures. Ronnie Radke commented, "We walk into rehearsals and our laptops are missing that we run all of our show on and stuff. As a band in 2022, you need your laptops. It's like driving a car without an engine." Eddie Trunk would then contribute with the following. "This is astonishing. First, when I heard about this, I thought it was a joke to wind me up. How much longer are fans, promoters, and the media going to accept the epidemic of live rock shows not really being live?" After the discussion escalated on Twitter, Sebastian Bach and Ronnie Radke would argue for a while when suddenly Bach challenged Radke to a fistfight. Nothing was materialized, but the media was all over it. One thing to admire about Skid Row, though, is that they survived grunge by adopting a heavier sound. However, Sebastian Bach left the band in bad terms. Bach says he doesn't use backing tracks, but Falling in Reverse alleges their use is more like a supplement to enhance the live performances. Meanwhile, Eddie Trunk objects to bands like Santa Cruz and Falling in Reverse using backing tracks. But Chris Jericho, vocalist of Fozzy and friend of Eddie Trunk, uses backing tracks and claims everyone else does as well. When he visited Eddie Trunk on one occasion, the topic wasn't even brought to discussion. Motley Crue is notoriously criticized for using backing tracks. Their biggest offender, Mick Mars, has been making these allegations for years. According to Mick, both Vince Neil and Nikki Sixx have used backing tracks since 1987, but those allegations were refuted by Nikki. However, videos on YouTube tell a different story. Lizzie Hale, guitarist and vocalist of Hailstorm, said, "I'm not a fan when I find out my favorite bands do that," she said. "And like I said, I'm not knocking anyone who does it. You do you. But for us, that's not just our MO. And there's nothing more fun than going out on stage and knowing that you're responsible for either being tight or loose, something going wrong, or having to pull the train back onto the tracks. But that's because we're listening to each other." Mudvayne vocalist Chad Gray opposes the use of backing tracks with a passion. "If you can't sing your and play your music, then why the are you on stage? You're not doing anything that anyone else can't do. There's nothing special about what you're doing, and you can do anything in the studio. So," again, I've seen bands where their tape stops, and it's absolutely atrocious. And finally, Dave Mustaine said, "I don't think there's anything wrong with using supplements for songs and other sounds and stuff like that if you can't play them live." He continued, "We don't usually have vocals that are canned. What we have is a MIDI click track that runs all of our lights and switches, all of our solos and stuff." So where do you stand on this? Do you even mind, or do you think it's an offense to your hard-earned money? Let us know in the comments section below, and please, if you liked the video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe with notifications. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay metal.